Yo, people, what's going on? Back again for another footy talk. And yeah, bruv, more misery for Chelsea. Lewis, what are you telling me?
Another week under captivity for both of us, I guess.
It's
Hopefully
crazy.
we have our Independence Day soon in it, but like I'm running out of the energy to keep screaming the same thing week in and week out. Like we're just stuck here. Our season's tanking in front of our eyes. I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger until it's too late. I don't know if they're all going to get to a conclusion that Poch isn't the right choice for us, and it won't be too late, which means I don't think that they're going to make a move with him. So, hey, we're screwed. We're screwed. Here's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, you reckon, bruv, come on. You're probably going to keep him to the end of the season now. Do you know what I mean? Like, look where we are now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look where we are
Yeah,
now.
that's
It's March, innit?
that's what I'm
So,
thinking now. They're still undecided on him. By the time they all get to a decision with him, what will be the point? We'll have dropped
mm.
more points. So
To be fair, if you get
tired
a
of
new
it.
manager coming in, what do they do though? They don't do anything because they can't get you Europe. So like, there's no point in a new manager coming in now. What to get top four? You can't get it. Do you know what I mean? So it wouldn't make any sense
It'll be
really
to the
sacking a
faint
manager.
hope of 6. That's it.
But
And
that's
even
it.
then, it's faint because we didn't even beat Brentford. I was saying, all right, you guys lost to Fulham. You guys were going to lose to Man City. Just beat
Mm,
Brentford. And you know what? Okay, cool. It's like 6 point. It's a 6 point gap with a game in hand. There's a bit of
mm,
hope. Now it's 8 with a game in hand.
mm.
It's like, okay, I can't even be bothered with this copium. Like, I don't even think we're catching up to that. Our best bet is what City win the Champions League, Liverpool win Europa, and we maybe get 7th place based off the coefficient going in our favor. That's where we're at
Oh,
now.
hey, bro, that is bleak, man.
That's where we're at. Or who knows? We might get 8th, and we can say the Conference League is progress.
Mm. Well, there you go. So when you look at you guys, yeah, it's like, yeah, you're just gonna have to stick with this manager. You're just gonna have to ride it out. Like that's all I can say, bro. And boy, I just can't believe it, bro. It's like you lot are struggling to beat everyone. Like it's crazy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it is with Chelsea, yeah. Almost mirroring their opposition. Like every time they play, when they play dead teams, yeah, they play dead. And when they play decent teams, yeah, they play decent. Like it's proper weird.
Are people getting gas going into this Brentford away game? Like I looked at their form and I thought, oh great, great. They've lost 12 out of 15. Great. They don't have their starting back 4. Great.
Mm.
Is this meant to give me any hope? No. Because I already know we're gonna come out in this game and do some stupidness. If we're in the lead, we're going to sit back and just take the entire sting out of our game. One thing I didn't expect though was how badly we struggled with dealing with crosses.
Mm.
That was just especially bad. But this team's just running out of surprises for me at this point. But hey, we're still in the FA Cup, so there's still a bit of hope in the board's eyes. Which
Who
I
have you got
mean,
in the next
cool.
round?
Leicester.
Okay, so that should be well, should, but you struggled
Yeah,
with Leeds, didn't
yeah,
you?
yeah. No, I'm not even underestimating Leicester. I mean, they could knock us out of the cup themselves.
Mm.
Them guys are just they're making light work of the championship, so can't even look down on them. Hell, like we played mid-table Middlesbrough with 16
Mhm.
injuries and lost to them. So who am I to look up at Leicester at this point?
I hear it. I hear it, bro. You just seem deflated, blood. Like man saying it's a lack of motivation versus the small teams, and that's inexperience. But surely Chelsea just need points on the board at this point. It shouldn't matter who they're playing against.
It's not even that. It's because managers will change up their style of play with us or their tactics, and we won't adjust. As soon as we go 1-0 up, our manager's just going to drop everybody back and just defend for our lives. The substitutions come in very late. The game management sucks. We're not good at defending set pieces. We're not good at defending crosses. When we go to a back 5, we're even worse at defending crosses.
Mm.
We're disjointed going forward. The players just make it up as they go along. So if you're sitting in a low block, we don't really have a clue what to do. It's just finished. That's it. It's just finished.
That's crazy, bro. And now they're saying that you've been linked with the Zerbi, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And we've been linked. I don't know. We've been increasingly linked with Graham Potter since Ashworth has come in. What are you saying about the Zerbi anyway?
I mean, he's got a good structure and everything, but like he's also not that proven, so I can't say too much with him. Do I think it'd be an upgrade on what we have? Yes. Do I think he's going to be the guy to take us to the top? I don't know. Like after Pochettino, I'm not waving anybody's flag as a manager unless you have a CV to back it up. Like if the likes of the Zerbi, I'd be like, all right, cool. You've done all right at Brighton. Let's see what you do at Chelsea, innit? Because like people have to start proving things to me now. I'm tired of drinking the Kool-Aid. I said the same thing with Poch that everybody else said. Always won League One with PSG. He did all right with Tottenham. I watched 2 months of him in the Premier League, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? This is disgusting.
Yeah,
I
but
went
he
off
didn't
that.
set the world he didn't set the world alight at PSG either.
Yeah, but I just didn't know enough about his time at PSG. I just went through what was in front of me. Like, if I did a little bit more research after he was at Chelsea, and I wish I did my research earlier in hindsight, because everything I read from PSG fans, I'm seeing the same thing here. And yeah, no, we got scammed. We got absolutely scammed with Pochettino. So I'm not doing it again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, innit? So the Zerbi, if you join Chelsea, you can prove yourself. And then we'll go with what you're doing on a game-by-game basis. That's what we're going to do now.
No, but to be fair, yeah, it's like obviously you took Potter from Brighton, it didn't work. This is a different set of players now. If the Zerbi was to come in, it is a young team. Like they can be molded. I feel like that's what's missing from this team is a manager that's gonna mold them and find a way to get the best out of them. Obviously, Pochettino's not doing that.
That's why I like. I've seen people say that like this team is kind of molded for the Zerbi in a way, and especially with the way the backroom staff is set up and the fact that half of them have come from Brighton. And I hear it. I hear it. Like all these players really need is structure. They need a system where they know exactly where the next player is going to be, and then they can just work off that. They don't know that right now. Everything is just freestyle football. Just make it up as you go along and hope. If you make something look good, they'll say the manager did that in training. No, I haven't seen us try and do it again once. Any little pattern of play that we show in a game, we don't do it again. It's just that one time. Just be grateful that you saw it. So I guess you'd have something different with the Zerbi. But again, I need to see it first. Like, things would be completely different with this Chelsea side. So, like,
well, who would you
won't be
take then,
against it.
ideally? Who would you take then if you had a choice? Obviously, if you're not completely sold on the Zerbi.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking Ruben Amorim's up there. And I wouldn't be against that. I'm hearing a couple of questions about how he's going to work with the midfield. So that might be a question mark there. But like, I wouldn't say no to Amorim. He's actually got a CV as well. Hansi Flick's still out there. I wouldn't say no to him. Xavi Alonso wouldn't join us. I'd be very surprised if he came to Chelsea. I think those are the only managers that are really out there right now. I don't think anybody
Yeah, but
else
even
is
the Alonso thing, bro. I think the Alonso thing is hype, bro. Do you know what I mean? It needs to marinate for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I remember at the beginning the Nagelsmann hype as well. Nagelsmann got mad hype at Leipzig. Obviously, he didn't win the league. Alonso hasn't won the league yet, but it's looking like he will win the league. But football fans are so flipping. They're so reactionary, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? With players and with managers as well. Like, I'm not saying it will happen, but imagine, yeah, after all this gas, yeah, Alonso ends up not winning the league, yeah. Obviously, I'd say that it's as good as done right now. But bro, Arsenal were top of the league for 93% and they still bottled it, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And then what happens if Alonso somehow doesn't win the league, even though we kind of know he will because Tuchel's dying over there? Then all of a sudden, he's a flop, just like that. Just like that. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing with football fans. They're so fickle. They're super fickle, bro. Because man could say, yeah, they haven't lost the game. That's very true. But we don't even know, yeah, how they're going to react if they do lose a game. Do you know what I mean? I believe that the league is done and dusted anyway. But the thing is in football, because Bayern Munich are so used to winning every single year, and teams are used to Bayern winning. All it takes, is one slip here, and then Bayern to win their game, and then in the back of your head, you're hearing it's happening again. It's happening again. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Bayern can do it, but it's one of them ones where that's the reason why. That is the reason why. Because man can say they haven't lost a game all season. It doesn't matter. It only takes for you to lose one, and then the players don't react well, and then they lose two, bro. Like this is what happens all the time, bro.
That'll be the biggest test for them.
It'll be the biggest test. It's just like when you're fighting, your biggest test, is how you recover from a loss, bro. Do you know what I mean? A lot of men think they can't get knocked out, and then when you get knocked out, a lot of the time, a lot of fighters ain't the same after they get knocked out once. So it's just one of them ones. Man saying there's 10 games left, so there's a possible 30 points, and they're only 11 points clear. Like, we've seen crazier things happen. I'm not saying, that it's gonna happen. I still fully expect Leverkusen to win the league because of how bad Bayern are. But the point is, even if he wins that league this season, it doesn't make him a superstar manager. It doesn't, because last season, flipping Dortmund should have won it, bro.
Yeah, they balled it last day.
Exactly. Who's trying to, and who was managing Dortmund last season?
The
same guy that's the managing them now. I swear it is the same manager, because they didn't get a new manager. And ain't no one trying to sign him. You know, like that. Ain't no one trying to get this current Dortmund manager. So to me, it don't make no difference.
That's it.
Yeah, the same that's the same brother, I swear.
Yeah, same guy.
Well, there you go. And ain't no one trying to get him as their manager. So this is my point, bro. It's one of them ones where Bayern showed last season that they weren't good as well. It's just that Dortmund bottled it. So at the end of the day,
when they played Man City, they got smoked home and away,
bruv. So to beat Bayern to the league looks great on paper. It looks amazing on paper. But the facts are, Bayern have been shit for the last couple of years, if we're being honest. They have been. It's impressive if he goes undefeated. Do you know what I'm saying? It's more impressive that he goes undefeated. But let's be real, it's a 2-horse race. And one of the horses has had a bad foot for a while. Bayern been shit. Bayern been shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So beating this Bayern to the league, when Bayern should have lost the league last season as well. Like, bro, man, have to put it into context. So this is what I'm saying, people lack nuance, bro. As good as what Xabi Alonso's doing right now, he's up against a shit Bayern Munich team, bro. He's up against a shit Bayern Munich, really, and an underperforming Bayern Munich. So it don't make you an absolute insane manager of one season. It doesn't. It never does. The same way it doesn't make you a great player of one good season as well. It doesn't. So we need to treat managers the same way we treat football players.
I feel like last season, the Zerbi was getting a similar level of hype.
Yeah, but give me 2-3 seasons, and then I can see if you're the real deal. It doesn't even have to be with different teams. Just give me 2-3 seasons at a club so I kind of know what you're about and know how much is you and how much is the players. Because right now,
because unless you're at City or Madrid, it's never smooth sailing for you as a manager. So you need to see how they deal with setbacks.
Well, there you go. And also, he's managed this club under zero pressure the whole time. There was no pressure in him when he went to Leverkusen. No one cared. People are only talking about him now because he's winning. But if he was losing, no one would care either. Because it's Leverkusen. Do you know what I'm saying? If you go to Liverpool, it's a different ball game. If you go to Bayern Munich, it's a different ball game. Everything you do, is under the microscope. Absolutely everything. And this is the point. So one season of doing what you're doing, that's not enough for me to say, yo, 100%, that's him, bro. Like, he's him. It's not enough, bro.
Yeah, that's why, like, for most of these managers, like, it's a bit of a question mark. So I can't really back anyone of them and say, all right, this is my manager for now. Like, whichever one we go in with, because I think it's going to be one of Amarim or Zerbi. They're the two that we're being linked with the most. There's positives, but like I need to see it now. There was positives in Graham Potter signing. There was positives in Pochettino signing, and it's not worked out for us with either. So whoever comes in next, like I'm of the moods of just prove yourself with what you show me on the football pitch, and then we'll work with that. I'm not overhyping a single manager that walks into this club anymore.
No, I hear it. And yo, big up my man. Yo, bro, you know what it is, yeah? Leverkusen, yeah, are a very rich club. You know what I mean? They're backed by a pharmaceutical company. I think they're one of the richest clubs in that league. And what so it's one of them ones where what they're doing, yeah, is not really a surprise. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's not really a surprise. He's a good coach though, and he's got some very good players as well. He's got some good players. When you look at that team, he's got some good players. So it's one of them ones where there's no doubt that he's a good coach, but we don't know how good yet. We don't know how man deals with the pressure of following in Jurgen Klopp's footsteps, if that indeed is where he decides to go. It's a lot of pressure for a manager, and I don't believe he's going to hit the ground running at all. You know what I'm saying? Like Liverpool fans have dreamt up this Alonso thing, yeah. But bro, I used to watch Liverpool when Alonso was there. They didn't gas him up like this. They didn't rate him. They're only claiming him now. But when him and Javier Mascherano were playing behind Steven Gerrard, bro, that man weren't talking about these, man. Now all of a sudden he's a scouser, bro, because it suits the agenda. But when he was there, they weren't talking about him. When he went to Real Madrid, they weren't crying. They weren't crying.
They're saying after Leverkusen, he might have to make another step before he goes to Liverpool and all that.
But I think so. Do you know what I mean? Because I swear it was Rafa Benitez that would have brought him in at the time, and they weren't rating him like that. And now all of a sudden they're trying to bread him like because they ain't got no one else. That's just what it is. Why don't you go get Steven Gerrard? Go get Steven Gerrard as the manager. All of a sudden Alonso's a scouser and that. Drop me out, bro. Like the whole thing is, it's just romantic, innit? And this is what these guys do, bro. They just romanticize everyone, and they're doing it with players as well. Every player is an absolute world beater. Every player needs a chance. Every season, there's a handful of players that everyone just absolutely gasses up, brother. I remember when them man were talking about Benjamin Shesko, yeah, and now he ain't doing jack shit. You know what I mean? Them man were talking about Man United signing him, and he was meant to be the next Erling, yeah. And now what's he doing? He ain't doing shit, bruv. Like most of these players that get gassed end up not doing shit. And most of these managers that end up getting gassed end up not doing shit as well, bro. Like this is how it is. He could be another Villas Boas just like that, bro. Like Villas Boas, bro. I swear that bro won the treble at Porto and then went to Chelsea and died. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, he tried to get rid of the old god while the old god was still there.
But there you go.
No.
But this is what I'm trying to say, bro. You know what I mean? I've seen too many false dawns. So this is why I can't, no matter who it is, I can't get excited after one season, bro. There's players I've seen that look really good, like Florian Wirtz looks really good at by Leverkusen. But man don't know what he's gonna do away from there. It's too early. Do you know what I'm saying? Like managers need development just like players need development. And where's he ever really been tested in terms of pressure? Alonso, nowhere. He went to Bayer Leverkusen. Nobody cared if he did well or didn't. Like nobody cared. Like it's a different ball game. It's just like when players go to certain clubs and they go from clubs where there's no expectation on them, and then they go to a club where every single performance is analyzed and scrutinized. A lot of players can't take that scrutiny, bro.
Yeah, that's why we just need to get through this season. We really just need to get through this season. Hopefully we have some sort of European football, because for me, like this whole project is we're already failing as it stands. But you can't be doing this whole youth thing with limited minutes 2 seasons in a row. I'm already looking at the likes of Mudryk and Madueke who are getting limited minutes. They're only going to keep getting limited minutes that way. We need to try and find a way to get into there, because if we're not in Europe, what's the plan? 2 years of minor development for these sorts of players, likes of Colwell, Badiashile. One of them's going to be having limited minutes that season. One of Fofana or what's his name? Disassi, who's going to be getting limited minutes.
Mm.
One of James Augusto. So I don't know what the plan is for us, but if they're still banking on us making Europe, so you better hope we do. You better hope we do.
I hear it. You know what I'm saying? And the Zerbi thing, bro, I think Zerbi is ready for a top club because he's done more than an apprenticeship, bro. When you look
He's
at what
been
he's
there for
done,
over a year, to be fair. So like you could hear it to a point.
bro, and it's not even just, bruv, look what he done in Italy as well. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's a swallow as well, bro. Like, come on, bro. He's not a scrub. Like, he's not a scrub, bro. Like, he's been managing for long enough. He's been long enough, and he's been competing. He's been decent, bro. Like Brighton were always like Brighton wanted to be a top 10 Premier League. That's what they wanted to be. Top 10 Premier League. And this guy's got them in Europe. They're still in Europe now. So he's achieving everything that Brighton wanted to achieve, yeah, with players that are not top class players. Don't get me wrong, he's got some good technical players, but none of these guys are world beaters. There's no reason why, yeah, if you give him better players, he can't do well, bro. There's no reason why. There's no logic to it. There's no logic to it.
I hear it. I
But
hear
the
it.
thing is, he's
I
done
feel
it
like I
at
just
multiple clubs and he's done it for multiple years. So there is actually, like, man can go back and research and we can look at certain things. Like, there's enough. I need at least 3 years from players and managers, yeah, before I can hang my hat and say either, yo, yeah, cool, that's a world-class player, or cool, this is a top manager. I need at least 3 years, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like one season. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, pressure is going to be different at big clubs, but then this is where you see man's temperament in it. The one thing about the Zerbi, he looks stubborn enough, yeah, and confident enough to go to a big club, similar to what Sarri did at Chelsea, yeah, and say, yo, this is how we're doing it. We're doing it my way. He's got that kind of personality. Whereas there were question marks over someone like Graham Potter, for instance, because maybe he ain't got that fiery, stubborn personality that the Zerbi has. So I don't see why the Zerbi can't do well in the face of pressure, because he looks like he can handle it.
I think for me it's just a case of trust at this point, because I hear everything that you're saying and like it does sound appealing. It's just I've been here so many times. I really need to just see it with my own 2 eyes with my players. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong with what you're saying. Like, he might be the guy for us. I know a lot of Chelsea fans are already looking at some of the quotes with him saying, oh, he's not here about making to win trophies, he's here about playing good football. But like, I feel like I can give him the benefit of the doubt for that one because he's at Brighton.
Facts.
Like, at Brighton, it is just about trying to play the best football and hopefully getting yourself up the table with that. And I mean, it's worked. There's lower standards there. There's lower expectations. Like, Brighton's a sore place where you make it to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, and that is an achievement.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be a question of if he can make the step up with his mentality at Chelsea. I won't say he can't, but I'm also not going to judge him just based off that quote. Like, I know people say the same thing. You did it with Pochettino. Pochettino had higher standards at Tottenham. It got to a point where they were contending for league titles, and like, you should have been speaking like a guy that is contending for league titles. But hey,
yeah, but
hindsight on that one.
yeah, but bro, you can look at it 2 ways. Because with the Zerbi, for instance, yeah, you can look at it and say, no matter who he plays against, yeah, he tries to play football. That's a certain level of confidence and arrogance, even with the players that he's got.
I'd rather that than a guy who tries to take the sting out of the game whenever we're 1-0 up.
Yeah, but this is the point. It's a positive thing. So when people think he can't play at a big club, he already plays with a big club mentality, even though he doesn't have the players.
That's a very good point.
The same goes for Postecoglou. At the big clubs, yeah, you have your style of play and you try to impose it on every other team and you don't worry about them. That level of arrogance is for big clubs. He plays with that level of arrogance with lesser players, and that's why he gets battered sometimes. But the same thing happened with Bielsa at Leeds. He played with the mentality of a top team, even if he didn't have top players, and sometimes he'll hold 5, 6, 7s. But bro, that's the price you pay for being brave, innit? And being stubborn to a certain degree, bro. Like, that's the mentality that you want at a top club, though. rather than man's just parking up buses. Whereas that's what David Moyes done when he came to Man United. He was setting us up like we were a mid-table team. He wasn't
That's a
imposing
more
himself on
imposing
us.
mentality. I hear it.
And that's what it is. People are so quick to look at the Zerbi's results and all these other things and say he hasn't done X, Y, Z. But bro, he's got lesser players.
I think with half of this fan base, it's just more like, oh, we don't want to go shopping at Brighton again. Well, I'm sick of taking Brighton. And like, again, to a point, I hear it, but like, I can't just paint everybody with the same brush. Like, Brighton have good recruitment. That's why they managed to get through so many gems. That's why I understand those trying to get some recruitment analysts from Brighton. In terms of manager, I get it. Caicedo, get it. Cucurella was overpriced. I'll be so real with that one. But better left back than Chilwell. I'll die on that hill. He's better at left back than Chilwell is. Just overpriced. That's all. So for the most part, like, I've understood it. It's just the mentality needs to go up. And if anything, that's more from the owners and the directors too, because they're enabling it. They're enabling everything Pochettino's doing. Part of it is an ego trip because they don't want to admit that they made another mistake. Part of it is probably they don't want to have a bad look on other managers by sacking another manager in mid-season, which I kind of understand if we weren't 11th in March. Like, I would have got that in October, November. Here's a point where you can say, you know what, you're just majorly underachieving. Get out. If you have any sort of standards, you should be doing that. But yeah, like I'm not going to look at the Zerbi and just think, oh, Brighton, go away. My only thing is just more like, I see what you're doing there. Just do it here first. Do it here first. I'll give you all the prop in the world. I've been fooled by 2 managers now. I now need you to just deliver me something and then we'll work from that.
Yeah, but this is the weird thing about football, and that's why it's difficult, because it's like you're saying you've been fooled by a couple managers, which I hear, but then at the same time, it's like you now need to look at the players that Chelsea have brought in, because you've done the recruitment, irrespective of the manager. They've been club signings, innit? So now you've done the recruitment, you now need to look at what manager potentially can get the best out of the players that you have. Because you're not building with the manager. It's like you've already built, and now the manager's the final piece, innit? So it's a different perspective. It's a completely different perspective for when you were replacing Tuchel, and now that you're replacing Pochettino, if and when it comes to that. So, bro, I don't really know. When I look, I don't know too much about Chelsea's players stylistically, in terms of, like, I don't know them in depth because I haven't watched them a lot. I've probably only watched about 3 or 4 games this season. But
don't blame you.
If they're a good technical level and you've got some ball players at the back and stuff like that, bro, man can't tell me that the Zerbi's not going to do better with them than he does with these Brighton players. Because, like someone said in the chat, that Brighton losing to teams like Luton, etc., red flags and stuff like that. But bro, I'll be real. It's impossible with the level of player that Brighton has to play consistently high level football week in, week out. There's going to be a drop off. Like, Brighton need all their players to be at the races.
And to be fair, they've had their own injury problems too.
As well, exactly. But they need all their players to be available and at the races to have a realistic chance of beating a lot of teams. Because man for man, like, they're very much a system team, Brighton, when you look at them. Individually, like, you look at teams like Nottingham Forest, Luton and stuff like that, they got a good few individuals in there. Brighton's not more so about the individuals, it's more so about the unit. So if they come up against a team that's got good individuals, yeah, and they're not at the races, they could get snuffed. They could get snuffed.
Yeah, you know what? It could work. It could work. I'm not talking down anything you're saying, because, like I've said all season, the number one thing this team needs is structure. You give me a structure, at least that's a base to build off. All I can ask is for that as a bare minimum. Like, Zerbi, from what I've seen, has had good game management. From what I've seen, he's managed to get a team cooking and understanding his system in quick time, which is like the number one thing that I've asked for with this manager. So yeah, I wouldn't be against him joining. Wouldn't be against him joining.
That's crazy. Man are saying what's with the Brighton thing though? It's like you man are just trying to be Brighton 2.0. Where did that start though?
Since Bowley came in, like I feel like we've just looked at Brighton and looked at their whole structure of bringing in young players or young gems and selling them for massive prices. And our idea is we want to get those players before they cost 100 million.
Yeah.
People are now worried that we're trying to do this for so we can become some farm for youth players. I don't really think it's that. I think it's just a case of we don't want to be spending massive prices on these players. So for the most part, we want to try and get them early, which I get it, even though like we did spend 100 million on Enzo and Caicedo, but at least it's only been on them. That's the main idea behind it. It's just we haven't really seen anything blossom from that just yet. And that's partly been because of the managerial appointments. Partly you could put down to inexperience as well, but like if you have a good structure, you can look past that. At least until you're in a top 4 race, and then maybe you get some experience to try and solidify that. That's been my argument against experience the whole time. You can talk to me about experience if you're talking about top 4, not when you're talking about top 10. I'm not listening to experience for that. Then I just need structure. I'm asking for the basics. So I get it to a point. But if we get players like, if we get someone like Gyökeres, I'm going to think, okay, this guy was literally at Coventry, top goal scorer in the championship last season. You could have gone for like 5-10 million. You're now going to go and get him for about 90. This is a complete slap in the face to all of that you were trying to say, because Gyökeres was 10 million a year ago. Now he's like 90. That don't make sense.
Yeah, but again, this is why talent identification is so important, bro. Because, bro, from when these man will tell you, from when I saw Ivan Toney in the Football League, I was like, this is a baller. I didn't need to see him do it in the Prem to know he could do it in the Prem. The same goes for Mitrovic. I didn't need to see him do it in the Prem to know he could do it in the Prem. So it's one of them ones where if you're a goal scorer, if you've got certain attributes, it don't matter where you're playing. I'll be real. Like I can see certain man playing in League 2, and if they've got certain attributes, I can say, you know what, like these man, this brother can play in the Premier League if he gets fit enough. Because most of the time, it's like, bro, you look at the championship, and man will say, yo, it's only the championship. But, bro, it's one of the most physical leagues and one of the most competitive leagues, like in Europe, bro. So if a man can do something there, they can play. And this is why, for me, the fact that Amad Diallo's not getting minutes at Man United is crazy. Because it's like the guy got in team of the season in the championship, was banging goals for Sunderland. And this Brer is behind players that have had no loan moves, that have not done anything in men's football, really. They haven't proven anything. He's behind Forson and Garnacho. Stuff like that is unforgivable for me. It's unforgivable. So, like,
I hear it. Like, I don't even know if has he even had
player.
minutes for you.
Ahmad ain't really played, no.
Yeah, because I don't remember any
more than 30 minutes all season.
Yeah, I don't remember any sub appearances, no nothing with that guy. And that's crazy. Weren't he meant to even be going AFCON and they didn't let him go?
I think he picked up a knock. That's why he didn't go.
Oh, it was a knock. Okay. That's fair enough then. But regardless, like the lack of game time that he's had is criminal. Because the way I heard Sunderland fans hyping him up last season, I was very interested to see how he gets into your team.
Bro, I don't know Sunderland fans, bro. They were messaging me, telling me how good he was and how he's the best player they've ever seen play. And these guys have had season tickets at Sunderland for 30 years, bro. And they're
I don't even care if that's Sunderland. That's very high praises.
Bro, but that's what I'm trying to say. They're saying he's the best player they've ever seen, bruv, at the club. That's what these guys are telling me. So for guys to tell me, the guys that watch him week in, week out for 90 minutes, I was only watching highlights. And they were highlight comps every game of this guy. But they were watching him every single day. And even when the January window, when there was a chance that he could come back, them man were doing everything in their power to get this guy back. Do you know what I'm saying? They never wanted him to leave. So that tells you absolutely everything you need to know about him as a player and also him as a character. So the way that he's been disrespected at our club is crazy to me. And that's another thing that I cannot forgive Ten Hag for, bro. Because everyone's trying to give him credit for giving Garnacho minutes when he's not good enough. But Amad Diallo's ready and good enough, and you're not playing him. Why is there not more focus, on the fact that you have a ready-made quality player there that you're not using?
I hear
Why
it.
is there not being more made of that?
Garnacho ain't consistent enough for you. I hear it. I hear it.
He's consistently bad. He is consistent. He's consistently bad. And the
Managers
thing is,
who don't practice what they preach are the worst.
well, exactly. And that's why when this guy turned around and is talking about, oh yeah, all Garnacho needed to do, I mean, all Sancho needed to do was apologize. He didn't need to apologize. There was no apology. Because, bro, I never see Sancho get given 24 starts in a row. I never seen it. 24 starts in a row. I've never seen him given 24 starts in a row, regardless, like irrespective of performance. It doesn't happen. And this is the thing. When you see the disparities in how managers are treating players, you can't support that, bro. Because how football's supposed to work and how sport's supposed to work is, if you're good enough, you keep the shirt. If you're not, then you don't. And this is why I always got smoke for all these players. The same goes for Rasmus Højlund and all these other brothers, bro. At Man United, you went 16 games without a goal and didn't get dropped. Like where does that happen? 16 games, blood. Even Oli, I think there was a period where Lukaku wasn't scoring, and then he put Lukaku on the right wing and tried to do something different. Because he was like, like, this isn't working. This manager's not trying to do nothing different. And then all of a sudden, man scores 6 goals in 5 games. But no, it's not 6 in 5. It's 6 in 25. Because you went 16 without a goal. And this is what these players do, bro. Like, the whole thing's a madness. Like,
it's the same thing with our manager. He says he plays players on merit, even though I see the likes of Gallagher, Chilwell, and Sterling start every week.
But that's what I mean. You can't be picking certain man, not picking certain man, and then using loads of different, like the different parameters to push certain players ahead and pull certain players back. The Brer basically came out and said it's got nothing to do with training with Amad Diallo, nothing to do with training performance. He just prefers Amari Forson, bro. So he's basically said, no matter how well you play, if I don't like you, you're not going to get minutes. What is that?
Like, that's just exposure. He just exposed himself with that one.
It's unbelievable, bro. That's what it is. It's unbelievable.
That's why we both need our Independence Day, man.
Oh, 100%. And people are still defending this manager, you know. They're still defending
People are still defending our manager. Oh, we've progressed in the cup because we didn't play Man City away in the 3rd round of both cup competitions. So now we're going to pretend that we've made progress. Oh, we made the Carabao Cup final. Nice. Beating Brighton, Newcastle on penalties, Middlesbrough's B team, Blackburn Rovers, and AFC Wimbledon. Because it's the 90s, and like that, it actually means something beating those teams. It's copium. It's copium. That's what our fan base has been reduced to now, which is just a bit sad. It's just sad at this point because we both used to have the best mentalities in the league. I used to be going up for titles in the noughties. When I used to grow up, it was us versus you, and it was a rivalry where it's like I hated United, but I respected United. I was like, you know what, they're the real deal. If we're better than United, then that means we're the best in the country. And it was the same energy from you guys to ours. Now we just stink. Now there's just which shit stinks more. That's us too.
No, facts. You know what I'm saying? This comment's facts, bro. Like, blocking a player's loan move. Man wanted to go out and loan, blocked it, and now we're not giving him minutes, bro. That kills players' morals, bro. Absolutely kills them. And then, bro, like, there's just too many questionable things. Like, even the Anthony situation. It's like, you've brought this guy in, cool. He's had like a poor run of games, but it's so easy for him to scapegoat Anthony. It's so easy for him to throw Anthony under the bus, bro. When in reality, Anthony ain't really been playing any worse than Garnacho's been playing. He hasn't. Do you know what I'm saying? But that don't suit the narrative because Garnacho's shirt sales are in the top 4 in the club. So that's why
crazy.
he's playing. So that's why he's playing, bro. Like
You
the
lot are
new,
starved if he's fourth. Like how?
but that's what, bruv. Garnacho, Bruno, and Rashford, yeah, were in the top 4 shirt sales last season, and that tells you everything you need to hear. The 3 players that seem to play every single week.
I mean, Rashford, I could understand the goals he was scoring last season, but like the
Rashford,
other
I can
two,
understand because he's also from here.
yeah, man, born
You
and
know what
bred
I'm
and all that.
saying?
I hear
Because
that.
when Lingard was here, Lingard used to sell loads of shirts as well. So I get the Rashford thing. The Garnacho thing and the Bruno thing, I don't get. Do you know what I'm saying? I really don't get. And that's the point. Them 3 are like the 3 players that are undroppable, and they're the 3 players selling shirts, bro. This manager's not picking teams on merit. He's not picking the team on merit, bro. And people in the dressing room will also know that too. And that's
And
why
then that
Elanga
impacts
turned around.
performances, that impacts morale. That I
Of
mean,
course,
within the
but that's
dressing
why
room.
Elanga turned
Great
around and said,
Bleak.
"Yo, it was personal when Nottingham Forest beat Man United because
To
he's like,
Elanga.
yo, yeah." He said it was personal because he can't stand
Yes.
Eric Ten Hag. Do you know what I mean? Because Eric Ten Hag's out here telling him lies. He knows he's behind Garnacho, not because Garnacho's better than him, but because there's some agenda to push Garnacho for him to be the next guy because he sells football shirts. That's the reality, yo. Like
Man's got
Elanga's
the
outperforming
marketable name
Garnacho,
and everything.
but that's it. He's outperforming Garnacho.
Yeah, Garnacho's never really been that impressive to me, bar like a couple moments here and there. That's him all over.
Yeah, but this is it,
That
bro.
overhead kick is going to feed him for another 6 months.
Yeah, but that's it, bro. But even that, slightly, it's been forgotten about now because in football, you're only as good as your last game, really. Do you know what I'm saying? Man lived off that
All right,
overhead.
wait till goal of the season awards start coming around.
Yeah, but that's it. But you can get the goal of the season awards. But bro, like I haven't heard anyone mention that overhead kick in a long time, bro. Do you know what I mean? A week is a long time in football, let alone 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks, bro. This is it.
I hear that. But I mean, I still have our fan base sniffing copium because we managed to have 2 good games against Man City. So for us, it lasts a bit longer.
Man said shirt sales and him playing is the truth. Does anyone remember the public fit the Glazers through when Ten Hag didn't play Mount in the preseason? I didn't even know about that.
What? What did they do?
I didn't even know about that. But I can imagine, bro.
Oh, they threw a fit because he didn't play Mount in preseason.
Bro. Listen, these things are real, bro. They always say, yeah, if you want to know what's going on, follow the money, innit? That's what they always say in life, follow the money. And when you look at Man United shirt sales, the top 3 or 4 shirt sales, it's them 3. It's Bruno, Garnacho, and Rashford. That's why they play. That's why they play.
I hate that this is where football's got to. I'm playing based off shirt sales, not based off performance. It's
100%.
crazy, man.
Bro, we just have to wait and see, my bro. I'll be honest.
Trust me, you and me are basically on flight mode at this point.
Yep. This is exactly what it is. So it's going to be interesting to see what route Chelsea go down, and it'll be interesting to see what route Man United go down, because the new owners have said, yeah, cool, they want to start putting football first, and Man United's been accused of being a commercial club by previous managers and insinuated to a certain point by a man like Jimmy, bro. So now it's his time to right those wrongs, target actual football players as the priority, build this football team as a priority, and then we see. Like, I'll stick by my opinion that once we get better players in, the players that are underperforming will see themselves out. They'll see themselves out, bro, because they're not going to want to sit on the bench, bro.
You know what? Do you feel like the new ownership could at least change that? Not the new ownership, Ineos. Do you think at the very least they could change that mentality for next season?
I hope
so, that'll be your first step forward.
Oh,
like,
all I can
do
is hope, bro. Like, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what they're gonna do from what they're not gonna do. All I can hope is that once we have a proper recruitment structure, we've got a CEO, we've got a director of football, and they're saying that we want a head of recruitment as well. Like there's rumors saying that they potentially want Dougie Friedman or something from Crystal Palace. I don't know how true that is. The point is, once we've got the recruitment structure in place, you have to think that we're going to be bringing in players for the now, but also players that will develop in the future. And you would think that we'd want to bring in a manager with a similar philosophy to be dealing with players that are good, but we can still develop. So with all of that, we just have to wait and see, bro. But I think they can do it, bro. Like I've honestly, I'll be lying if I didn't say that the way they've started, it's exciting, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's exciting.
Well, for your sake, I'll say that's about it because I don't want to see United get back to the top. At least not
Who's
until
your
we're there.
DOF? You don't have one, do you?
We got Winstanley and Stewart and like a bunch of other people, and we got way too many cooks in the kitchen. And this is another problem with us because we have a consortium running the club. We need all of them to be on side with any decision, which means we kind of lack ruthlessness because there's no majority decision. And this is another problem with our structure that we need to work on. And also, both of them are sticking by this manager, even though we're in mid-table, because them sacking Poch is another admittance that they failed again.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're not going to do it.
Yep.
So, which is why one of Winstanley or Stewart, if both, probably needs to go with him. Or you need to give the manager identification role to somebody else. Because this has been another failure. We cannot afford to fail for a third time with our decision. Because if we do that...
Maybe that's why, on the flip side, maybe that's why they're taking so long to make a decision. Because maybe they understand that, yo, we can't fuck this one up. Do you get what I'm saying?
That, and also because, like, they've waited too long. They've waited too long now. Because after the Carabao Cup final... No, not even that. After the loss to Middlesbrough in the first leg, I was saying, all right, cool, you lot haven't moved now. Whenever you move, it's too late. But I'm not even going to give you credit. There was going to be a point where I would have gassed up them sacking Pochettino. Now it's like, okay, I'm just glad I'm free of him. That's it. But I'm not giving you any credit past that. So I think that's a point. That's a point as well. They've only just started looking a month ago.
Yeah, in fact, is Todd Bowie actually still involved in football? Decisions? He's not, is he?
No, Bowley stepped back time ago. That's why anyone cussing out Bowley, it's like Bowley is the face of it, but like the real guy's Igbali. Igbali owns Clear Lake. He's a majority shareholder. It's Igbali that everybody's got to be focusing their criticism to. Him, Winstanley, and Stewart is those three.
Flipping hell, man. You know what, bruv? I don't know what I'll go on for Chelsea. You know what it is? Because I'm so used to Chelsea being good, yeah. I just always in the back of my mind, I just have a feeling that something's gonna click and they're just gonna be on smoke. Maybe not this season, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine them being too bad for too long, if that makes sense. I just can't, because it's like they always just find a way. They always just keep throwing money at the situation until it just improves, innit? So I don't know, bro. I genuinely think, yeah, that you're maybe a couple signings and a decent coach away from being able to take seriously, bro. Like being able to be taken seriously again, bro, because your players are not that bad.
Like all we need is some structure from the manager as a base. Then where we go is all really dependent on the quality of these players, because that's when you can really start to judge them. That's why these players, like, I haven't really said anything about any of the young ones. It's more the experienced ones. Sterling, like, I can't be bothered with him anymore. Like, it's just what you see is what you get with him, and like he's too inconsistent for my liking. Gallagher stinks. Chilwell stinks. Silver's too old. Everybody else, I'll give you time. I'll give you time. Like, you guys have had no structure to deal with. You're operating off individual brilliance. So whatever you think of them, like, I can't get to a conclusion just yet. So even with the likes of Mudryk, I was saying he ain't moved the needle for me at all. But I can't write him off yet. I can't.
I
But
don't know.
once I see him under a
What I've
structure with a
seen him
manager, cool.
Yeah, but based on what I've seen of him as a technical player, I'd feel confident writing him off. Listen, by all means, if he proves me wrong, good on you, mate. But he lacks a lot of basic fundamental things that I can't look past. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I really can't look past like how he can't even do basic things with the football. So I can't
That's
see
why I
him.
can't say he needs more game time with us. That's why I've been saying just loan him for a year, see what he does there. If he can't move the needle at whatever club you sent him to, calm. That's where it's like, cool, I'll write him off. It is what it is. But for me, it's like, you ain't done much for me. I see why you don't play. Like, Sterling and Palmer can start on the wings. It is what it is. But it goes both ways. I need him to have a season of consistent game time, and then I know where he's at.
Yeah, but just not at Chelsea.
Yeah. Go on loan.
But that's what you should have done. You should have signed him and then sent him on loan somewhere. Really?
Probably should have sent him back to Shakhtar or something.
Mm.
Or sent him to a top 5 league. I don't know. Like, he's been the number one probably real waste since we started bringing in the younger players. But again, lack of game time hasn't helped. Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because the climate. That's it. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to be a star and everything. I'm just saying I haven't seen enough.
How did Chelsea get this so wrong though? Because Arsenal ended up catching life, not signing Modric. Liverpool caught life, not signing Caicedo. And then Lavia's been injured, so you could say that Liverpool caught life with both.
I'd say if Liverpool got Caicedo, I think they're further top in the league.
You think so?
Yeah. Caicedo, like, I don't think they've definitely missed out with signing him. Definitely. It's just they've got such a good structure, they've got such a good coach, and they've got such good individuals. Like, to a point, they can cope with that. That's why they've had so many injuries and they're still top of the league. But they would be a lot better with a Caicedo in that team. And any Liverpool fan, if they don't think that, they're deluded. They're straight deluded.
Yeah, but I think what we're trying to see, we're trying to see is cool. Yeah, he would fit in that system, but for the amount of money they would have had to pay for him.
Yeah, because I said 115 for Caicedo was a bit much. Like, good player. I'm not against the signing, but Brighton got everything they wanted from dragging out that transfer as long as they did. So also fair play to Brighton with that. They could have taken 80 million and just been done, but they were like, nope, someone else will come in. We'll have our saga. Don't care how long it takes. We will get our transfer saga. We will get maximum profit. And as annoying as it was at the time, they called it. So I can't fault them for it. They're the real winners out of that entire transfer.
No, 100%. But that's what I mean. How can you, man, just be taking all these L's, bro, back to back? It's crazy in the dunya, bro.
Because we should have capitalized. Well, not capitalized. We should have built on it this season, and we never did. That's why it's all coming out looking crap. Right. That's just it. Like, if we were even making the first steps in this project, which would have been competing in top 6, top 4 races, then I'd be like, all right, cool. We're following the trajectory. That's fine. But we're not doing that. So right now, we just look like idiots from top to bottom. It's deserved. Completely deserved.
Structurally, what can change to put that to the side, bro? Because I'm not familiar with your structure, but how can they be getting so many decisions so wrong, bro?
Honestly, like, that's why it first comes down to manager for me, because everything that's on the pitch is the responsibility of the coach. I know people are going to talk about experience and everything. All experience would have done with this manager is paper over the cracks of his football. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse for him, like, all we needed is experience and we're fine. No, this manager would have still been a fraud. You just would have given him more time as a result of it. Oh, we're competing for top 4, top 6 where we should have been. Okay, but it wouldn't be nearly as sustainable. So that would have been my first problem. And then, second of all, probably once we get to that point, then you look at getting experience and then you strengthen from that point, and then you're suddenly building up the blocks. That's why my problem with the ownership has always been naivety. Like, I understand what they're trying to do. I don't think that they want to just use Chelsea for money without getting any success from it, because you can't sell the club with it being stagnating for 10 years and expect to get profit. You won't. It's as simple as that. So, to me, the problem is these men just the mentality isn't really there. It's not really there. I feel like they're a lot more egotistical than what we need. I feel like there's too many cooks in the kitchen, which is another problem with the recruitment. Like, we need a lot less voices there.
Yeah.
Because when it was just Roman, you got 2 or 3 voices in there, and that's it. So you can kind of have them all on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Very
right now, you got a bunch of people saying a bunch of
tell.
different things.
Yep. No, you can.
And to me, if we're talking about recruitment, that's the biggest issue. Too many people in there.
Bro, listen, I agree, but that's what I mean. But that's why in modern football now, like, there's just so many people. Because even us, we're getting, like, obviously we got the CEO, we got the director of football, and now we're getting a head of recruitment as well. And then they're gonna get someone else in. I don't know why we need 4 people in it to get players in. Like, I don't know why we need 4 people involved to get players in. Do you know what I mean? It's not my job to know why we need 4 players. But the point is, it's like, I can't imagine that the more people you have to run things by, the easier it becomes. Because it can't. Because they're even saying that there's people at Man United now, like scouts and all these other guys, that are actually good. But it's like, so many people have to sign off what they want to do, to the point where most of the time they want to do something, it don't get done anyway. So what is the point?
That's where we're at.
So what is the point in having all of these people? Because we always hear after the fact, actually, people at Man United knew that Anthony wasn't worth this, that, and the other, and they only wanted to pay 25 million. They only rated him that. And that was when Ollie was there. And then you hear that certain Man United people didn't want Delict because they were worried about his weight and all these things. You always hear about these things after the fact. So we've always got a million men that know what's going on, but then what do we flipping do?
Nothing.
But then what do we
and
do?
you always hear it
like,
once the decision's been done, and it's like 2 months too late.
Once we don't get a player, we hear, oh, Man United would have got Erling Haaland, but do you know what I'm saying? They phoned at the wrong time. All this bullshit. Do you know what I'm saying? Or even Sofiane Amrabat, now he's not doing well. They're saying, oh, people at Man United weren't really sure about him and they knew he wasn't going to do well. It's like, all right, cool. So why is he here, bruv? This is exactly what it is. There's so many people here that what's the point in having 10 man there with opinions, but only 2 man can do something? You know what I'm saying? We heard the same thing about Bruno. Oh, people at Man United are worried about Bruno's lack of ball retention and carelessness on the ball. So what do? Sign him for 50 odd million. That's what we do. What's the point in having people in there with an opinion, yeah? Why do we have people in there with an opinion that have no power? They might as well not be there. They might as well not be there.
I don't get it, because, like, if you got football advisors at that level and you don't follow them, then is it about the football? Because, like, you've mentioned it before about just getting shiny new toys to appease the fan base, and it feels like that's what the Bruno one was.
Yeah.
Because that came mid-season. Correct me if I'm wrong. 1920.
Yeah.
You guys weren't doing that well.
Not only were we not doing well, but fans wanted to protest.
And then they did the thing with the new signing. Yeah, because it's similar with Ronaldo, isn't it? You man were doing a protest and then Ronaldo walks through the door. Suddenly everyone's buying Ronaldo 7 shirts.
They should see through it by now, bro. They should see through it by now, but they don't.
Nah, man, you'll get another big name in the summer too, and, like, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
Hopefully not, though. This is where we're supposed to break the cycle. Only then will we actually know, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Not for either of us, man.
It's not looking good based on the past, innit? So Now we just need to look forward and see if things are going to be better. But you definitely need a better manager, because Pochettino, the same thing I say about Ten Hag, yeah. If you don't even get the best out of the players you have no leg to stand on. None. He's not getting the best out of the players he has. I believe that you definitely need better wide players, because apart from Cole Palmer, do you know what I mean? He doesn't play Jackson. If you play Jackson out wide, then you've got a wide player there, but then you still need two more, because Mudrik's not good enough. Sterling ain't really good enough. I'll be honest, like not
You
consistently.
shouldn't be sitting on the bench for that sort of money.
Well, exactly. Like it was a bad signing in the first place. If you deep it, you need an actual striker, and then if anything, Jackson can be the backup striker, but he can also operate from out wide or whatever, and he can just be a utility man. But you need at least one more wide player, and a striker, and a new manager. So yeah,
I'd say potentially a left back too. Could do with a left back. Because none of them are really pulling any trees.
Facts.
That's
facts.
Yeah, I think that would be it in terms of position. I need a striker. I need maybe a left winger.
Yeah.
Left back. And then other than that, give me a manager of a decent structure. We should be able to at least build something from that. Then you work from there.
True. No, very true, bro. But yeah, like I don't know. It's a weird one. In a strange way, I feel like we've got more to do than you. It seems crazy. It seems crazy for the simple fact that you man are way when I say way behind us, it looks like you're way behind us in terms of performances and results. But I genuinely think that we're further behind you. And I just think that we've been extremely lucky with a lot of results where we've actually won the game where we haven't been good.
Yes.
And there's been games where you've been decent and you've drawn or you've lost when maybe you didn't deserve to in it. Whereas I think we're overperforming points wise, and I think you're underperforming points wise. There was a time where, in terms of chances created and XG, Chelsea were like near the top of the table, and you just weren't scoring goals. Like, bro, we're actually shit, bro. So I genuinely think that we have more to do, even though it doesn't look like that, than you guys, which also makes me think that if you make the right moves in the summer, you can turn this around relatively quickly.
I agree too. I'll be real. You man have come across like cockroaches to me this season. That's what I've been calling on stream, because you guys just don't die. I'll do a stream out of nowhere United goal. I'm saying, how have they pulled this off again?
Bro, you lot should be around 6th, 7th place, and we should definitely be in the bottom half of the table based on performances.
That was all I was going to ask for with this manager. Like, if you have me competing for top 4 and I'm around like the Europa League spots, not going to celebrate it, but I'll be like, all right, cool. This is a step forward. Cool. I will accept this as part of the process. We are progressing up the table. Fine. But now people are trying to say, oh, 12th to 11th, that's progress. Is this where my football club's at? 12th to 11th, and we're like, okay, cool, we're progressing. That is copium. That is straight copium. I'm not listening to that crap.
No, facts. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Now, United have been, by performance-wise, we've been one of the worst teams in the league. And even though I think we're 11 points off top 4, but bro, like, we've been so bad. We've been so bad. Like, people don't even understand. Like, actually think about, like, I remember when Paul Scholes said it, and it's the realest shit. United are the only team that could win 5-0 and get battered. Like, we got outplayed by West Ham and won 3-0. Like, when you actually look at the match stats here, if you didn't see the scores, there's no way you would have thought Man United won that game, let alone by 3 clear goals.
Now, I remember asking you about that game, and I was shocked when you told me how badly you got battered.
Bro,
I was like, right, you lot won 3-0, you should be happy. Nope.
Bro, that man had double the amount of shots that we had on goal. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy. Like, when you actually broke down all the individual stats and stuff like that, it was just like, we were just mad clinical. That's all it was, just mad clinical.
And that's what gets you out of jail a little bit more, and that's why people are That's the weird copium people are trying to spin for our club. It's like
In
if X
attacking
scores
areas,
this
we've
goal,
just
we
been
win
better
the
than you.
game.
We've just been better than you in attacking areas.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got a better goal difference than us. But but
I
yeah,
think our goal difference is like 1.
exactly, and ours is -2. So that's
We
what
really are a mid-off, man.
that's what I mean. So when you actually look at it, it's horrendous from both of us. We're actually overachieving. Like our league position massively flatters us. Massively flatters us. But it does show you, that Chelsea, if they get a couple ruthless players in the final third, it can transform your whole season.
Mm-hmm. Or if we just had a
transform your whole
structure that
team.
would make more chances. Because my problem
That
is
too.
always we only make chances over a certain period of the game. Then everyone's like, "Oh, if Jackson scored this chance, we win. If Palmer scored this chance, we win." No, we don't dominate matches for a full 90. We dominate them for a period, and it just tricks everybody because they think you should score through that volume of chances. No, it's not how football works. Even the best strikers in the world, they don't have a great conversion rate because they get multiple chances. We
Facts.
don't. We get 1 or 2. If you don't bury those one or 2 chances, then we're finished, and everyone just has a scapegoat.
Yeah.
But then Pochettino will say, "Oh, I don't want the fans going after the players," when he's the one throwing the players under the bus every time we lose and saying, "Oh, if we scored our chances in this game, we win." Like that's the reason why we lost. No, it's your crappy structure. It's your crappy game management, our crappy set piece structure, because you don't believe in specialist set piece coaches. You believe in just better players and better delivery. You don't believe in structure. So maybe you should look at yourself. That, hey, my manager won't do that.
I hear it, bro. You know what I mean? I hear it completely. My man said here the difference is you got players to bail you out in attack. When you stink out the gaff, we don't. Exactly. That's why I say buy them. Because Chelsea have scored more goals than Man United, bro. Do you know what I mean? And we're above you in the table. Buy the players. Chelsea need a striker and another wide player that are ruthless and clinical in the final third, and it transforms their whole luck. Because sometimes in football you got to make your own luck, and it could just be a bit of individual brilliance, bro. And we've had that at so many times. Like even yesterday, even though we lost to City, yeah, the strike from Rashford. Like, how many players did Chelsea have that can score a goal like that?
Not a lot.
None, bro. Do you know what I mean? And this is it, out of the blue. Even though Rashford is useless, he's got that in his locker. He's got that in his locker. Like that goal was out of nothing. And this is the point. So literally, they got just Cole Palmer, yeah, that is a creative player in the final third. Bro, they need a couple more. Like, man pissed away all that money, yeah. And you man are bottom heavy, bruv. Man got BBLs and that. Man signed all them defenders, and you got nothing up top. It doesn't even make sense. Bruv, we know that the Rashford goal was a fluke, but the thing is, he's got it in him to fluke it again. We know it was a fluke, but he scored long range shots before. This is not the first one he's ever scored. So whether it was a fluke or not, yeah, he can still do it. He can still do it. Not very often, but he can still do it. This is the point. This is the point. Chelsea need players that can do stuff even when they're not playing well.
Yeah, and right now the only guy we can rely on for that is Sterling, and that's a problem in itself.
Yeah,
because Sterling is one of the most unpredictable players in the league, and I don't mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean more like he will do 4 dumb things, and as soon as you're done with him, bang assist. And because we're stuck in mid-table, we just have to firm it with him.
No,
so okay, it's just Sterling. I'm just stuck with him. Just stuck with him.
Facts. I'm saying, but yo, people, make sure you run up the likes. I'm over on Lee Gunner's channel in 10 minutes, so I'll see you lot over there. Make sure you smash the like on this one, and make sure you smash a like on Lee Gunners when you guys go head over there. What you saying, my bro? What you got coming up?
Probably just a Bayern Lazio watch along for the day. I don't think I'm going to do much more past that. So yeah, keep a lookout. And I was going to say let's hope Poch gets sacked, but I'm not even going to raise my hopes for that. Just find other hobbies for the rest of the season, guys. Find other hobbies because we need our copium.
That's crazy. Listen, people, make sure you follow Lewis's channel. The link is always in the title. Let me sort that out actually. Let me change that because I set this up when I was in the gym on my phone. Let me tag you. It's not done properly. But you lot, make sure you there it is. All right, make sure you go and subscribe. He's on 43,000, bro. Closing in on 45k, bro. So let's get him there. Do you know what I'm saying? Make sure you click the link in the title, follow Lewis's channel. When you head over to Gunners as well, make sure you smash the like button. I ain't doing a Champions League watch along tonight, I don't think, bro. I looked at the games, they look shit, bro. I'll be honest. So it's one of them ones where I'm got the second part of Rants Reacts is coming out tonight at 10 p.m. The premiere yesterday had like nearly 500 people in it, which was a mad thing. I know you lot enjoyed that. So part 2 is coming out tonight at 10. I'm gonna release them at 10 p.m. throughout the week, and then obviously on Fridays, Anthony Joshua and Garnu blood. So you get me. Monday to Thursday, we got premieres at 10. And yeah, bro, that's what we're doing, man. You lot getting loads of content. I'll be back here at 6:30 with Flawless as well. Before the Champions League. And if you lot want to watch the Champions League, you can watch it. I ain't watching that shit. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll see you guys in the premiere at 10. So yeah, man. Busy day, people. And I'll see you guys over on Gunner's channel. Make sure you smash the like when you head over.